LPG run out in India? Should we all be buying induction cookers? You must all know by now that India is facing an LPG crunch. Restaurants are shutting their kitchens early. People are standing outside the gas agencies. Some carried empty cylinders on scooters, and everyone is waiting for same thing, cooking gas. But how did the situation become so serious in just a matter of days? How did our supply crumble so quickly? The answer is simple. Our LPG is stuck far away in the Persian Gulf. Dozens of ships carrying fuel were simply sitting still, waiting for instructions. All of these scenes are connected, and they lead back to one narrow stretch of water, the Strait of Hormuz. This passage carries about 20% of the world's energy shipments every day. Oil, LNG and LPG tankers pass through it constantly. For India, this route is extremely important. India consumes about 31.3 million tons of LPG every year, but roughly 62% of that supply is imported, and between 85 and 90% of those imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz. So when tensions explode in West Asia, India feels it quickly. The current escalation involves Iran, Israel and the United States. After strikes in late February, the strait suddenly became a risky shipping zone. Technically, the strait is still open, but traffic collapsed. Before the crisis, dozens of ships crossed daily. During the peak of the crisis, that number fell to fewer than 5 ships a day. That is roughly 90% drop. Energy markets reacted fast. Brent crude moved from about $80 to $85 per barrel before the crisis to between $100 and $130. Asian LNG prices jumped from $8 per MMBTU to $15. European gas prices doubled from around 30 euros per megawatt hour to 60 euros. India's LPG supply chain felt the shock almost immediately. Unlike crude oil, India does not maintain large strategic reserves of LPG, so shortages show up quickly. On March 7, oil marketing companies raised prices of domestic cylinders by 60 rupees. New Delhi, the price moved from 853 rupees to 913 rupees. Mumbai climbed to about 912 rupees. Kolkata crossed 939 rupees. Chennai reached around 928 rupees. Patna crossed 1000 rupees. Commercial users were hit harder. A 19 kilogram cylinder increased by about 115 rupees, reaching roughly 1,883 rupees in Delhi. But the bigger problem is supply, because the government has prioritized domestic kitchens. In Mumbai, about 20% of restaurants shut down by March 10, and industry groups warned that 50 to 60% could close if the shortage continues. Many kitchens are switching to what they jokingly call crisis menus. Food that needs less gas stays, long cooking dishes disappear. The pressure is also visible at home. India has about 33 crore active LPG consumers. To prevent hoarding, the government increased the booking gap from 21 days to 25 days. Even though most households use 6 to 7 cylinders a year, panic bookings have surged. In Kolkata, daily bookings jumped from 3.9 lakh to more than 7.5 lakh within 48 hours. Queues outside agencies now start before sunrise. Transport is also affected. In Kolkata, about 30% of LPG-powered auto rickshaws have gone off the road because pumps ran dry. And where shortages appear, the black market follows. In parts of Delhi NCR, commercial cylinders that should cost about 1,883 rupees are reportedly selling for 3,200 to 5,000 rupees. The government responded using the Essential Commodities Act and Essential Services Maintenance Act to control gas distribution. Under the Natural Gas Supply Regulation Order 2026, gas supply has been divided into 4 priority categories. Priority 1, households that use piped natural gas for cooking. Priority 2, compressed natural gas used by public transport like buses, taxis, and auto rickshaws. Priority 3, fertilizer plants that produce urea and other essential farm inputs. And priority 4, LPG production units that convert natural gas into cooking gas cylinders. These 4 sectors receive the highest protection in supply. Everything else comes later. Refineries were also order to maximize LPG production by diverting propane and butane streams away from petrochemicals. This increased domestic LPG output by about 10%, allowing distribution of roughly 60 lakh cylinders per day. Meanwhile, the situation at sea remains tense. Right now, 37 Indian linked ships are stranded in the Persian Gulf and nearby waters. Globally, about 25 very large gas carriers are stuck in the region. India's External Affairs Minister recently said that conflict in West Asia is a particular concern for India. And considering how much of India's cooking fuel passes through that region, the concern is a polite way to put it. Still, India has some buffers. In late 2025, Indian oil companies signed a contract with the United States to import about 2.2 million tons of LPG per year. That is roughly 10% of India's LPG imports. And those cargoes do not pass through the Strait of Hormuz. India has also expanded energy sourcing from about 27 countries to nearly 40, including West Africa, Norway, Algeria, and Canada. And crude imports from Russia now account for about 20% of India's oil supply. But the reality is simple. When one narrow waterway carries so much of world's energy, any conflict there affects everyone. The LPG crunch of 2026 is a reminder of that. A geopolitical crisis thousands of kilometers away can suddenly affect what people cook for dinner in India. For now, rationing has prevented the worst case scenario, but everything depends on one question. How long will the Strait of Hormuz remain unsafe for shipping? Tell me what you think in the comments. This is Indu Tyagi and you're watching WantStats. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay tuned to WantStats for the news that matters.